Hello everyone, I am Amy, the math tutor at WorkSmart Math. In this video, I would like to show you how to memorize the trig table of special angles in a smart way. Before we dive in, please feel free to take a screenshot or a photo of this trig table. It pays to analyze the table before we memorize anything. So let's study this table. And there are three pairs of trig function listed in this order. And these 5 angles are special angles. As you can see, 0 plus 19 is 90, 30 plus 60 is 90, and 45 plus 45 is also 90. Angles that add up to 90 degrees are called complementary angles. There is a rule saying trig functions from the same pair with complementary angles have the same value. For example, let's have a look at sine and cosine. They are from the same pair of trig functions. And sine 0 degrees is the same as cosine 90 degrees. Because their angles add up to 90. With this rule in mind, we can reduce this table to half of its size, because we can work out cos, cotan, or cosec given the values of sine, tan, and sec. Alright, that means we only need to memorize half of these values. Now, another thing I would like to point out is the formula or definition of tan, cotan, sec, and cosec. You may remember tan theta equals sine theta divided by cosine theta. And cotan is the reciprocal of tan. Therefore, it's cosine theta over sine theta. Sec theta is 1 over cosine theta. Cosec, on the other hand, is 1 over sine theta. It's very important to memorize these formulas because they form the definition of these trig functions. As you can see in these formulas, it's either sine or cosine or both. So that means if we know the values of sine and cosine, we can work out the values of tan, cotan, sec, and cosec. And that means we don't need the last 4 rows of the table. And also we don't need cosine because we learned about the rule for complementary angles. So that means the table has been reduced to only 1 row to memorize. Alright, and some people may still struggle to memorize these 5 numbers for sine theta. If there was a pattern that we can follow, things will be much easier. Sine 30, 45, or 60 degrees are fractions with the same denominator of 2. So, let me transform 0 to a fraction with the denominator of 2 as well. But the numerator has to be square root of 0. And I do the same to sine 90 degrees. Okay, so I've made all the numerators rational numbers, meaning they're under a square root, but they increase from 0 to 4, and the denominators are the same. So that's a pattern there, and it's easy to follow. So if you are comfortable with what we have discussed so far, you can work out the rest of the values in the table very easily. There are other ways of going about it as well. If you don't want to use these formulas, we can go back and just filter out these 3 rows. And what you can do is to apply the same method I used for sine theta to tan theta and sec theta to find that pattern among these numbers to help you memorize them easily. Now, I want to point out that these values are undefined. So why is that? For example, let's have a look at tan 90 degrees. I'm going to use that formula here. Tan 90 degrees is sine 90 degrees over cosine 90 degrees. And with that rule, this can be written as sine 90 over sine 0. And that becomes 1 over 0. And for any fraction, if the denominator is 0, this whole fraction is undefined, or the calculation cannot be carried out, or there's no such fraction. So these values in the table are undefined because the denominator of these values are 0. Okay. Now, I hope you have enjoyed learning about the smart way of memorizing this table. If you like this video, please give me a thumb up and subscribe to my channel for more. I also offer online tutoring lessons that can be easily booked at www.worksmartmath.com. Why work harder when you can work smarter? See you next time.